Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk, and you know the drill by now. As you can see, I'm in the studio, which means it's live, which means you lot need to get involved in the comments and the chat and let us know what you think about all the latest stories, and if you've got any stories yourself. We're going to be talking about United being linked with a new potential right-back. Looks like we could be on the verge of making an offer for a player from Inter Milan there. I'll give you an update on that one. Also, Jesse Lingard, there's a bit of a saga going on there, isn't there, in where he's going. I know he's out of contract in the summer, but it's all gone a bit sour on it with Jesse and the way he's leaving the club. There's also another story. This has been doing the rounds a little bit, a video and an interview, and I want to get into it, of Jim Radcliffe, I think his name is, one of Britain's richest men, potentially, well, he's a United fan. He's potentially going to buy Chelsea, and he's been asked why he's not buying United. You know, you've got all this money, you're going to buy Chelsea. You say you're a United fan. I don't know if you've noticed, but our owners are horrible. Come in and save us all from the Glazers. And I wonder as well, how many of you are still thinking about City getting knocked out of the Champions League? Is that still a thing? We did a video after we was live last night on Paddock Live. We was going to go live anyway. Wednesday night, we do that sort of stuff. And then we were watching the games. We pushed it back the video a little bit while I watched the game in extra time, and it was funny, wasn't it? It just was. It's just funny seeing City not win the Champions League every year. I don't care how sad that makes me sound. It's one thing that we've done that they haven't, and I'll hold on to it, even if it could be, you know, grim in May when or later on in May when Real Madrid play Liverpool. But you never know, man, the way Benzema's playing. A few comments already. Anthony Bagliart says, morning, Jay. Stanley Manuel, 1984, says Jesse should stay. Manchester Maverick, bonjour, Jay. Why have you stopped laughing? I sort of have, right? I woke up this morning and I went online and I seen all the reminders, not that needed, and I was like, oh yeah, it's a bit of a shame, innit? Thomas Mitchell says, morning, Jay, still laughing at Little City. 3FHW says, Hala Madrid. I mean, this season has been awful. It has. Hit like button as well, if you're watching, by the way, people. Let's hit that like button. Come on. Let's get to 100 likes straight away. Come on. Boom. Let's do that. This season's been awful. We've not had much to cheer about. It looked like at one point we're going to face with Liverpool or Man City in the Champions League final, which is just awful because it's either Liverpool potentially doing the quadruple or potentially whatever, winning number 7 or 7 in terms of Champions League, or City winning their first ever. It was just a horrible scenario. So at least now we've got a little bit of hope that Carlo Ancelotti and Karim Benzema and Rodrigo and Vinicius and all that lot can save us from what would be a horrible season. So we'll see anyway. We'll see what happens. Christopher Barrett says, woke up this morning feeling fine, got Man City crying in my mind. Yeah, I mean, lots of people reveling it. Bit of shade and fraud, as they call it. Not wrong with that, is it? Reveling in other people's miseries when it's Manchester City. Maybe they should back Pep Guardiola in the transfer market, eh? He's working miracles on a shoestring, what do you expect? Let's get into the Jesse Lingard story. Right. The story's been doing the rounds. There was one yesterday and there's another one today. I'll go into the one that was doing the rounds yesterday and give you a bit of an update on the latest one. So yesterday we heard that Jesse Lingard plans to leave United, even if Erik ten Hag wants him. He's done. He's had enough. His contract expires, and it was the sort of the reports, the rumours, the stories, whatever you want to say, says that Lingard felt he'd been disrespected. He was unhappy. Apparently, this stems back from when he went on loan to West Ham. Went on loan to West Ham, smashed it there, 9 goals and 6 assists in 15 games, whatever it was. Just silly numbers. Came back to United and was promised, I think game time, was promised that he'd get a chance of first-team football. Didn't really happen under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He had played a few games, then he scored a couple of goals, but he never really got going. Erik ten Hag comes in, and again, Ralph Rangnick comes in, and he's used sparingly. Again, he wants to get a move. I think he was in line for a move to Newcastle. It looked like that was going to happen. Then apparently the stories were that United were playing hardball with the fee. They wanted a relegation clause in it or a survival clause in it, so that if Newcastle survived, United got an extra 6 million or something. Didn't happen. Newcastle weren't going to pay that. Jesse Lingard doesn't go to Newcastle, stays at Old Trafford, doesn't really do a lot of it, being honest, in those remaining few months. And now he's going to go for free at the end of the season. It's just a shambles all round, to be honest with you, because we should have let him go in the summer. I don't know why we kept him. We could have got money for him. At the latest, we should have let him go in January because we could have got money for him. Now, I'm not on about, let's get some money for Glazers. We could have got money for him and bought someone with that or used that towards someone else. And instead, we didn't do any of that. We just kept him, a player who hasn't done anything, has he, since he stayed this season? He's scored a couple of goals early this season, but certainly since January he's done nothing. So why let him stay? Or why keep him? Why not just let him go and get something for him rather than nothing, which is what's going to happen? It just seems just stupid and short-sighted by Manchester United. And the sort of the latest updates on it all is that he's sort of being coveted by a few clubs. I think Newcastle United are still in for him. There's reports that I think let me just try and find where these sort of stories were. I think there's a few of the in clubs in Italy interested. There we go. Got there in the end. Sorry, forgive me. So PSG, Juventus, AC Milan, and Newcastle are all after him. I mean, you saw the other day he didn't get a run out, did he, against Brentford? And his brother posted something about the way he'd been treated. I've covered that in the news, then I won't rehash it all and read it all out again. But there's obviously a bit of bad feeling there about the way he's been treated. There's still a lot of clubs in for him. You think about it, Jesse Lingard on a free. I mean, he's going to be on decent money. He'll expect decent money, but I don't think he's going to be on silly money. And like I said, last season he scored 9 goals and got quite a few assists as well for West Ham in a short loan spell. So he starts pretty high still. Still can do a job. 29, he's by no means past it. So it doesn't surprise me that there's a few clubs in for him. It's just frustrating that it's come to this, really, because he's a player that's been at the club since, I think, is it 9 years old? I think he's been there since. Went on loan a few times. Went to Birmingham, to Brighton. Had to fight the hard way to get into the United team. Finally got in there, got injured, all the rest of it. Then becomes a regular, scores in cup finals, does well, gets in England team, and now it's just all gone Pete Song, and it's just all gone wrong for him. In the super chat, Timoshu Jagwani says some players who've won league titles like Keane and RVP don't get a proper send off. Does he deserve it? I hated the way that Keane was treated. Hated it. For me, probably my favourite player of all time, Roy Keane. Absolutely colossal for Manchester United. And to he did get a testimonial, didn't he? He came back for a testimonial, but the way he was treated was just wrong. He was more or less sacked, wasn't he? RVP didn't get a proper send off. Rude Van Nistelrooy didn't get a proper send off. Do you remember like the League Cup final, wasn't it, in 2006? I don't think he got on the pitch. 4-0 up against Wigan. He didn't even come on, I think, if memory serves. Yeah, it just seemed a little bit unfair the way some players are getting treated. Real Killers 11 says Jesse's never done anything for us. I'm not sure about that. You can think he's not been good enough this season or whatever, but he did score in a couple of cup finals, didn't he? He has won a few trophies. Joey Jobo says Jesse should have got a send-off at Old Trafford. Everyone else did. We should have let him go. I thought it was a bit bizarre that Cavani did. Andrew A says he deserves it more than Cavani did. I agree. I used to love Edison Cavani, but he's faxed it in this season, and he can't be bothered. And it's sad to see, but that's just where it is. And he got a bit of a send-off, didn't he? And it's just, it's one of those. Should we move on? There's another story about a potential incoming. We've spoken about Jesse Lingard leaving. We all know that one. But according to Tutto Sport, United manager Erik ten Hag is eyeing a move for Inter right-back Denzel Dumfries. The Dutch tactician has reportedly placed Dumfries at the top of his right-back list. I think it was Mac who had the story. Was it yesterday that Aaron Wan-Bissaka could be going back to Crystal Palace, so he could be going out the door, and it looks like Denzel Dumfries could be coming in. Apparently the reports are that it's going to be around £30 million bid, around €35 million roughly to get him, which isn't the world, and you think, okay, that kind of makes sense from a Manchester United point of view. If you're going to bring in a right back, we can't be spending another £50 million like we did with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We need to sort of keep our cost down a little bit, because there's a few players we need to bring in, and you might even go, oh, is right back really a priority? Midfield and maybe an attacker, and I don't know. But it is an area that he's looking at. I don't know. I love Diego Dalot for his, I think his effort and his personality I quite like, but he's in terms of ability, I'm not sure he's quite there. This kid had a good season at Inter, played a lot of games, played 41 games so far, was at PSV Eindhoven. I presume that's where Erik ten Hag saw a lot of him. And yeah, he's obviously doing well. He's a Dutch international, 32 caps for the Netherlands. 26, he's not a kid, I shouldn't say that word. He's youngish. Well, no, he's not youngish. In football terms, he's about, just about to get into his peak years. So, kind of makes sense. This play right back or win back. Manchester United could be in for him. Do you know much about him? Let us know if you know a lot about him. I don't know a lot about him. I'm not going to pretend I do. But we are being linked with him. But it seems like we're being linked with a lot of Dutch players at the minute because of the Erik ten Hag connection. Half the Ajax squad, anyone who's played in Holland, there's the kid from Feyenoord as well, the left back. I mean, it just seems like, if you've got a Dutch passport, United are in for you, or even if you've been to Holland, if you've been for a weekend in Amsterdam, then you might get a call from Erik ten Hag. Hit that like button. Let's get to over 100 likes. Still not there. Beers says, he's turned 26 this year, or does he turn 27 this year? He's 26 till he's 27. Do you remember that one? Was the Arsenal fans going at it? Do you not understand fractions? That's not how it works. In April, he turned 26. So he's just 26. Sabura Sam 34 says, prefer the Nottingham Forest. RWB, but Dumfries is a very good option. But have we forgotten about Laird? Surely he deserves first shout. Ethan Laird, love him. He's done really well on his loan spells. There were question marks about his fitness in terms of injuries and stuff, but he seems to have got over that. Is Ethan Laird ready for the Manchester United first team now? I don't know, is my honest answer. Maybe if you've seen more of him than I have, let me know. I think he might need another season before he's ready to become a first-team regular. Is someone like this guy coming in for around 30 million quid? Does that make sense? Does that give Ethan Laird another season where you can go, okay, we bring you in, and then maybe a season or even 2 seasons, then you become regular, or you alternate? Who knows? Santa Notch is in the chat. He says Dumfries has always looked decent when I've watched him. Matt Bragger says watched him against the the Scousers in the Champions League, I should say. He looked decent. Stone 420 says Garner for CDM. Yep, I like Garner. I don't know if he's a CDM. I feel like he's a bit more of an 8 Garner. I don't know. Let me know what you think anyway. Bears is saying Garner for the 8 position. I think we need a CDM in there. If you can have James Garner in, I don't think you can put him in there in that role. There's another story about what I'll get into just briefly. There was an interview doing the rounds. This is from a few days ago. I don't know if we've spoken about it on the channel. No, I haven't. I got sent this when it went out. There was an interview with Jim Ratcliffe, who's one of the biggest, the richest men in the country. Now, he's about to buy Chelsea, by the looks of it. Him and a few of his pals are going to buy Chelsea. And it was put to him, Dan Rowan did an interview with him, and he said, you're a United fan, aren't you? Why don't you buy United? And he's like, well, I'm a United fan. But he said a bit of a bizarre thing. He said, I'm a United fan and followed United, but, when I was in London, I watched Chelsea because it was difficult to get to games. He's talking rubbish there, isn't he? Because, I lived in London when I was at uni and I still managed to get to United games, and I'm not one of the richest men in the world. I used to get the coach for 12 quid because I was skinned. So don't give me all that tosh. Maybe he's just sort of trying to placate Chelsea fans there. Now, when he was asked about buying United, he said United is not for sale. Manchester United's not for sale. Some people looking at it going, is that true? Could he not go in there with a few billion quid or whatever he's using to buy Chelsea and buy United instead? Would the Glazers not sell? Is that a bit of a signal to the Glazers saying, you're not for sale, but if you were, I'd have you? Who knows? It's just quite intriguing, isn't it? It's something to maybe keep your eye on, because I've seen this one coming up a few times, people going, Jim Ratcliffe. I mean, if he buys Chelsea, it's a moot point anyway, isn't it? He's not going to buy United. He can't buy both. But it is an interesting one because I've seen a few people mention him in the past. The fact he's a United fan, the fact he's got all this money, can't we get him in? Can't we get someone in about the club who cares about the club? But he seems to be more focused on buying Chelsea. It's just frustrating as well, man, because we just want to see the Glazers gone, don't we? We really do. We've had a lot of protests. I think those protests are going to continue in the summer and next season. But if we could have a buyer, because that's ultimately what you need someone who's got the money to buy Manchester United Football Club from the Glazers, someone who's got access to billions of pounds. You might not have billions of pounds themselves, but if they can get a group together, a consortium, whatever you call it, and get the funding, then maybe it's doable. But at the minute, it's just not happening. So whether it's Jim Ratcliffe or anyone else, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we can hope. We're hoping to have an update as well. Speak to a financial expert about the Glazers and what's going on with them. Someone still thought it's a spam Musk to buy United. Everyone's been spamming Elon Musk, haven't they, to buy Manchester United, because he bought Twitter as well. He's about to buy Twitter. And now people are saying, come on, buy United, get involved in that. We'll have to wait and see if anything comes of that. I'm not so sure. I don't think Elon Musk has got Manchester United on his radar. I mean, I don't even know if the Twitter sale's going to go through, to be honest with you. But we'll see. That's a different story for a different time. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks to everyone who got involved in the comments and the chat. It's much appreciated. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 700,000 subscribers by the end of the season. With your support and help, we can do it. I've been Jay Motty. This has been The Paper Talk. Thanks for watching.